Good journey, everyone. Welcome to Space Oats Live, a Star Wars podcast. I am the Crucial Crew member, Jay. Thank you for joining me this January the 9th, 2024. Man, hope everyone is doing okay. My camera is really not that great. I'm going to go ahead and switch it to my other camera. It almost seems like this one's gotten damaged or something. I don't know. The one on my computer, actually. So I'm going to go ahead and put it to the better camera. How about that? All right. Um, yeah. So man, it's been a long day for me. First things first, we're watching A New Hope. We started watching it last week, so if you were watching along, we're still on Tatooine. So if you want to watch along the rest of A New Hope while we do this broadcast, please go ahead and cue that up on Disney Plus. We'll get going in a minute, but yeah. So we are about, I want to say, like almost 50 minutes into the movie. So go ahead and get that going. Disney Plus, Star Wars: A New Hope. And we'll start watching that. We got a lot to talk about. We're gonna go into a little bit of Star Wars history. Not long ago in this galaxy that I do every day on my Instagram page. So we'll talk about something pretty amazing that happened today in Star Wars history that I actually celebrated a little bit today. In a way, if you were watching me on Instagram, TikTok, wherever, you saw where I was and what I was doing, and maybe you saw my live stream from the parks, so you know a little bit about what's going on with today in Star Wars history. We're going to talk a little bit about a announcement that was made. I think it was made today because I just saw it. I don't think it was there this morning. So something that was announced today, which is pretty spectacular. Kind of, I mean, I literally just saw it, so it was like, whoa, interesting. Related to Star Wars, so we'll talk about that. We're also going to dive into my crucial character pick from Ahsoka, which I've been talking about because this is a big one, because this is the one where if you're paying attention and if you're local to Orlando and you find me in the parks and you tell me who my crucial character pick is from Ahsoka and maybe be able to answer a couple of questions regarding that character, you might win something. And I was going to show you what you would win, but I can't find it yet. So I'm not really sure yet, but I will post that as far as what you will win, a giveaway. So yeah, that's another big thing. And then something else non-Star Wars related, because I will dive outside of Star Wars every once in a while. Something non-Star Wars related that happened today, that was released today, that I'm really excited about. I watched a little bit of it just a little while ago, so we'll talk about that as well. Ben, thank you for joining. Thank you very much. So like I said, Star Wars: A New Hope. I'm watching that right now. I'm about 50 minutes in. If you want to join along, but yeah, so I'm basically going to have that streaming in the background. I'm actually queuing that up right now. I'm at 49:53 in the movie. Oh nope, 50:50 actually. Oh, it jumped ahead, but basically at Han Solo Greedo moment. Of course, I am watching the Disney Plus version, so it's you know the Greedo shot first version. Well, I think they've gone back and forth with this one because so originally it was Han shot first, then it was Greedo shot first, and then it was kind of them shooting at the same time, honestly. And it's been a while since I've watched it, so I can't remember. Is it still kind of the same time where they basically shoot at the same time? Basically, it's kind of going to happen right now. So I'm just curious, real quick, before I move on. But yeah, it's the same time. So yeah, basically shooting each other at the same time. I think Han shoots just before like a quicker on the draw. I mean, I just watched it. It looks like it's almost like simultaneous now, which is I think it was like the compromise that Disney made. Han shot first, Greedo shot first, and then it was just like, oh, we'll just have them shoot at the same time. Yeah. So, but anyway, Han shot first. He was quicker on the draw. I will agree with you that that is basically that's the thing. So let's go ahead and just go dive into this because as you know, my Instagram page, I do a little bit of history of Star Wars. So we're going to go ahead and start off with that. The not long ago in this galaxy segment, we'll do that first because that's I spent a lot of time today celebrating that. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and just pop up something on the screen here. Ew, what the heck? I don't know why my camera went away. Ah, this is weird. I don't know what's going on here. I want both to be on, and that is not the correct thing. So I'm just not. Let's do this. There we go. Look at that. It's me. It's me and my picture at the same time. I love that. Thank you very much, Ben, commenting on the jacket. I've been kind of like sneaking this out. This is my Mos Eisley jacket. So I've been sneaking this out lately. This it keeps growing. I keep adding more stuff to it. But yeah, this is the jacket that's going to be at Mosh this year. So today in Star Wars, not long ago in this galaxy, as you can see, picture of Star Tours. This is Star Tours from Disneyland, by the way. And the reason why this picture is up, if you watched earlier today, I did go to Hollywood Studios today. Wasn't really sure if I was going to make it. Like at first, I thought I had made a reservation for Epcot. Turns out I made a reservation for Hollywood Studios. The reason being is because I think I thought this out. I thought this through, actually, which doesn't really happen too often. But I actually thought this through, and I realized that today is the anniversary of Star Tours opening at Disneyland in California. So January 9th, 1987, Star Tours opened at California's Disneyland theme park. So if you did not know that, that actually happened. So yeah, Disneyland, George Lucas, Walt Disney Imagineering together brought to life this Star Wars adventure at Disneyland Park. And the original Star Tours attraction blasted off to Endor at that time, which was, yeah, which happened today in 1987. So I remember riding the original version right before it closed in Walt Disney World. So I rode it once. I honestly don't remember it not being 3D. So my guess is it was. I don't know. But anyway, I know the adventure continues. That's when they definitely added 3D. And that's when they changed the destinations and everything like that. So yeah, I honestly didn't even remember that the original was not 3D. But it's been a while since I've ridden that ride. So, and we've had updates. We've had updates. I rode it 3 times today. I got sequel trilogy, prequel trilogy, and then sequel trilogy. And I only had one planet that I went to. The opening sequence, honestly, I haven't gotten in a really long time because I almost forgot that it was an opening sequence to Star Tours. It was in the hangar with the droid, which there's a couple different ones with the droid, but it's the one where you follow the Falcon out. So I had that one, and the first one was following the Falcon out into the sequel trilogy, Star Destroyers. The second time was the following the Falcon out with the prequel trilogy, Star Destroyers. But not really the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, Star Destroyers. And then it went into the prequel trilogy. But the first time I wrote it was the sequel, following the Falcon to the sequel trilogy, Star Destroyer, through the sequel trilogy, Star Destroyers, going to, and I always forget the name of the planet where the Death Star basically crashed into, where we have Rey and Kylo in Rise of Skywalker have their confrontation, finding the Sith Wayfinder. So that was the first one. Then going to Poe Dameron as the cutscene with the Rebel spy, and then the ending was going to Crate, and then I think the very end. Ooh, where did I end up the first time? I don't even remember where I ended. Oh, on Batu. I ended up on Batu, landing on the first time for the end sequence. The second time was again following the Falcon out to the original trilogy Star Destroyers. And then I went to all prequel locations. It was to Tatooine for the pod race. Then I had Yoda as the cut sequence. Then going to Naboo, which is my wife's least favorite spot for Star Tours. And then ending up in the Naboo feed hangar bay with the Naboo N1 starfighter crashing through the window and the droid falling into the cockpit. And then the third time was actually Vader starting it. No, it was Kylo starting it off, because this was all sequel trilogies. This Kylo starting it off, going back to the scene with the Death Star ruins, Poe Dameron again, and then this time it was Exegol, the battle over Exegol, with the ending being on the Star Tours hangar in the ship. So yeah, it was good. It was a good times, fun times. But yeah, it was the end of it's the end at Kefbir, the water moon. That's right. It's funny that see, I don't really consider it a water moon, because there is land. But yeah, I guess it is. It's partially land, partially water. But I guess they call it a water moon. Yeah. But anyway, star. Not long ago in this galaxy, we had the beginning of the relationship of Star Wars and or as Lucasfilm and Disney. George Lucas basically always saying that he felt it was the right thing to do to be able to bring one of the greatest theme park companies into the fold of creating a Star Wars experience that you could ride, which look what it did. That relationship built. Disney ended up being able to have the opportunity to purchase Lucasfilm. And then look at some of the things that have come out of it. We have Star Wars movies and TV series coming to fruition at all time, news, which we'll talk about later. We had Galaxy's Edge open, which I love to go into. I said I wasn't even going to go into Galaxy's Edge today, and I just can't resist every time I go. And then we had Galactic Star Cruiser, which was amazing. None of us knew, who knew that was ever going to happen. None of us knew back then that Disney would eventually buy Lucasfilm. That is correct. Yeah, who knew that was going to happen? I honestly didn't even get to experience Star Tours until way later, because we were not Disney people for the longest time. So yeah, pretty crazy. Star Tours. I didn't even ride Star Tours when I went to Disneyland, honestly, because it's the same thing. But there are new experiences, new worlds that we're going to experience this year in Star Tours. I think in Disneyland, probably before Disney World, is what's going to happen. It's been really it just I always say it, but it's not going to happen. And I did spend majority of my time in Galaxy's Edge. So yes, you cannot go to Hollywood Studios without going to Galaxy's Edge. That is pure fact, pure fact. And it's almost impossible if you're a Star Wars fan. You cannot stay out of Galaxy's Edge. A little bit more of my time basically there today. I I went to, so when I got there, like, I mean, my main goal was to ride Star Tours today. I didn't know how the weather was going to hold up. I didn't know how long I was going to be there. So like honestly, I was just focused on getting to Star Tours. When I realized the weather was going to hold off a lot, basically when I got there, I wanted to actually try something non-Star Wars, and I tried the watermelon margarita at ABC Commissary, which was really good, by the way. Yeah, the communicator was really cool, and you were right. I did test it out a little bit later after I got off my live stream. The communicator, and I left it in the car actually, but the communicator is a Bluetooth speaker basically, and you can talk into it. Like I tried testing it. I have a Google Pixel phone, and I did the Hey Google thing, and it responded very quickly, easily. Held it up like I was actually talking into the communicator. It was really awesome. But yeah, it actually, when you twist it to turn it on, it makes a little cool sound, like it's connecting. And same thing when you turn it off, it does the same thing. When you connect it to your device, it'll do that as well. It makes a little sound, but really cool. And it actually does. It's pretty loud. It's definitely like a mini Bluetooth speaker, so it doesn't put out a lot of sound, but it is really cool to have. So I like it. I think it was worth the price. It's really cool looking. It's definitely well made. The speaker part of it is really cool, and yeah, like the rubber gasket around the edge is really cool. I did not know that, so I haven't had anybody call me while I have it connected, but that's cool. You know more about it than I do, honestly. Drew joining in. Georgia, thank you very much for joining, Drew. Yeah, so it was a really cool buy. Love to kind of pick that up today. That was a surprise. I did not know it existed. But yeah, so outside of Star Wars, like I do sometimes talk about non-Star Wars stuff. But the watermelon margarita at ABC Commissary, really good. If you love margaritas, it's definitely something to grab. I got one of those before I headed into Galaxy's Edge. Went to Galaxy's Edge. It was lunchtime. On my way there, I did a live stream, and I was like, I don't know what I'm going to get for lunch, and kept throwing out all these ideas over the live stream with some of the ones that joined in, and really, was it a question that I was not going to go get a Ronto wrap? I mean, come on. So I definitely went and got a Ronto wrap at Ronto Roasters, and then I did snag a reservation to Oga's Cantina, so I went in there and I got my normal outer rim. Had to get that, and then I got a beer, which I haven't gotten a beer in a long time. It was the Surabat Harvest brew, which kind of to keep along the watermelon flavor was a good. I don't if I've had it, it's been a long time, so it was good. It's good every once in a while. I'm not the biggest beer drinker, but it was good refreshing drink to have. The atmosphere was great in Oga's today. Saw some of my favorite chemists there at Oga's, and yeah, had a great time. And then I went and rode Star Tours. Well, I went and got the communicator right before Oga's, but then I went and rode Star Tours, and for the 3 times with the different prequel, sequel, trilogy. So just in honor of the anniversary of Star Tours today. So yeah, so that happened today in 1980, 87, right? 87. Want to make sure I think it was 87. Yeah, 87. I did. See, I remember the year. 1987, Star Tours has its anniversary, January 9th. So I almost wish they would bring back the original like planets and throw them in there a little bit, because, just for nostalgia reasons, seeing where we go. I guess they would have to like kind of redo them because they weren't 3D. But it would be cool to be able to have those original scenes that we could do, especially since it's kind of all over the place now. We're getting different locations all the time. I think it would be cool to be able to have that. But yeah, so let's see what else is happening in Star Wars news. I mean, last week we had more issues of, or actually, I think it drops. I actually think it drops today. No, tomorrow. Tomorrow. If you are big into comics and you are big into comic book adaptations, The Mandalorian season 2, issue 8 drops tomorrow for comic books. So, so if you're a fan of that, that comes out tomorrow, January 10th, which is my wedding anniversary. My wife and I, 20 years. Yeah, so we're going to be celebrating tomorrow, going to the parks and going to California Grill tomorrow night, I believe. But yeah, so The Mandalorian season 2, episode 8, basically getting that comic book adaptation dropping tomorrow. So if you're a fan of that series, that is the last episode. The Rescue, as we remember it, is getting dropped. So I've been enjoying like seeing the adaptation. I like adaptations. I like comic book adaptations of the series. I think it's really cool to be able to see that on printed page and the artistry of it. I'm big on that. So it's a good series. It's a good series. Drew saying Star Tours back in the late 80s was insane. Great example of Disney magic seeming to make the impossible possible, right? Yeah, that was the beginning, right? I mean, really, when you think about it, and what they came to accomplish, especially with Star Wars in general. I mean, overall, Disney is just inspiring with immersive experiences. And I think my first feelings of that going to Disney was actually Magic Kingdom. I'm honestly like just thrown into that park and the forced perspectives of the castle and Main Street USA, all the different lands. It just blew me away. Um, Hollywood Studios didn't really do it for me back then when I went, because it just felt like a studio lot. But really, Magic Kingdom really um, is what really pulled me into Disney in the first place and kept me wanting to go back. Um, Epcot as well, because you did feel the immersiveness of going to the countries. Like I really felt like I was visiting other countries, especially with the cultural representation of the cast that worked there. Really felt like I was actually experiencing the culture firsthand. I was visiting these different countries. And then what a step up, I mean, first with Pandora, which just blew me away. I remember when that opened. I remember getting to able to experience that before anybody else, going as a cast member and having that preview of that land, and just the beauty of it at night with the bioluminescence feel, just amazing experience. And then once Star Wars was brought into the fold, and we were going to be getting Galaxy's Edge, a Star Wars land per se. I was worried and nervous, but I was super excited. And I remember walking in there as a cast member again, getting to experience that and preview that land. I know I was just overwhelmed with emotions first walking into that, and then to step that up and be able to be part of the Star Cruiser experience as a crew member, and see what they were able to do and accomplish with not only the feel of it, but also the immersiveness of the cast and the crew, and what we were able to do with the training and the language, and just everybody bringing to the table the full on experience of um, from the moment you walk on that ship to the moment you leave, you felt that you were part of of Star Wars. You felt like you were part of the universe, the galaxy. And I know I felt like that every day. I know everybody does. I talk about it a lot with people, not as much as I should on here, but it just felt so amazing. And to be part of that and, help, me being such a fan and help train people and to learn the language, and um, even though they weren't Star Wars fans, but really be able to be a part of that story and make people's experiences, feel like, they were going back to their childhood, which it felt for me every day being on that. So it was a great experience and just blown away. And I don't know when we'll ever get anything to top that. I think it's going to be a long time before Disney's going to be able to top that. If they do it sooner than later, that's great. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but um, it's going to blow my mind if they're able to go above that, because so many people, have agreed that is just, they went way above and beyond what they've ever done before. And I personally agree that was the case. Ben saying, seeing PHP. I hate it when people do I don't know PHP, and I'm like totally drawing a blank on PHP. PHP. What is PHP? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank. Around the corner and seeing the Millennium Falcon. Maybe Marvin's gonna be, yeah. Oh, the pass holder preview. I got it just as you were texting it through it. Like, I literally got it as it was coming through. Pass holder preview. Yes, when it wasn't full of people. And that's actually, honestly, that is why I love Galaxy's Edge on rainy days and at night, because at rainy days, you don't have as many people. At night, people are heading over to the Fantasmic and the fireworks show, and it gets a little bit more it gets a little bit more low key, and you get more of the fans that are staying there those days. The true fans really will come to Galaxy's Edge and Hollywood Studios just to go to Galaxy's Edge, even if it's raining. So today it wasn't that crowded. I didn't ride any of the rides though. Rise was having some issues. It was down today, but I thought about getting on Falcon, but I really wanted to ride mostly Star Tours today and get some good celebrating of the anniversary of that today. But yeah, seeing the Millennium Falcon, I agree with you. I mean, seeing the X-Wing, like, because that's like the first thing you saw when you walked in, that really hit you that you're in Star Wars, as the X-Wing and the A-Wing, but really the X-Wing. I remember being like drawn to that, and just that feeling was amazing. But yeah, walking around and then seeing the Falcon, yeah, that just like did it for me. Let's see what else. True, I remember Galactic Star Cruiser a bit. You made Galactic Star Cruiser, my friend. You made it amazing. You guys really did step it up as far as helping me to see what we were doing and making why we were doing it. You, Martin, and Christine, you guys, forever in your debt for what you have done for the community. So and I'm almost getting emotional over that. So let's see. You never forget your first ship. Yep, that is true. Hoping to ask about PHP. See, I wasn't the only one. Rise had issues. Yeah, Rise always has issues. There was always a saying when Galaxy's Edge first opened, Wednesdays was the worst day to go, and I always had off on Wednesday, and Wednesday was always the worst day for Rise of the Resistance, because that was the day that they said that they apparently did the updates. I don't even know if this is legit information or not. It was just rumor that Tuesday nights was the software updates, and Wednesday, because of that, it would always have issues. So Tuesdays and Wednesdays were like the worst days to ride it, because Tuesdays was right before all the bugs were fixed, and then Wednesdays was the first day after the bugs were fixed. So yeah, all of that. And it always had problems on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Maybe that's the reason why. Maybe it's still to this day, which of course I have off on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. So of course every time I go, Rise has issues. Right. Yeah, shocking. Yeah, you're quite welcome. But yeah, so Mandalorian season 2 issue number 8 comes out tomorrow if you're a Mandalorian fan. And then in Mandalorian news, this literally, I just saw this a little while ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and just throw up some cool Mandalorian screenshot here, because got to do that. Um, Mandalorian and Grogu. Yeah, so you're excited about the movie. So I guess you've heard the title is this can't be the real title though, right? And honestly, I think we were all thinking, I don't know if this is going to be separate. So my understanding is that there's going to be a Mandalorian or like a Mandoverse movie. But is this the movie that we're talking about? Because my thought process was it was going to be a culmination of all of the characters. So Mandalorian, Grogu, Ahsoka, whoever, everybody kind of all together, this culmination of characters in this movie that was going to possibly involve Thrawn at the end. All these series tying together into one movie. This can't be the title. I'm hoping not. It can't be. And we kind of knew about this, right? Unless this is something new in addition to the Mandalorian, like the Mando universe, like culmination movie. Like, is this going to be different? I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, so announced today, on StarWars.com. So it is official that the Mandalorian and Grogu journeys to the big screen. I mean, that's not new in itself because we knew that this was going to happen because this was announced at Star Wars Celebration this year, along with the new Jedi Order movie with Daisy Ridley that also goes into production this year. So that's one of those things that we were all excited about. We know that that's going to be in pre-production this year. And then also the Dawn of the Force by James Mangold, that movie, which we don't know when that's going to start production as of yet because there's no announcement on that yet. But both of these movies now, if this is the same one that we're talking about with the Jon Favreau movie or the Dave Filoni movie, because it was technically announced as a Dave Filoni movie at Star Wars Celebration, if I'm not wrong. But this is basically saying, the first sentence on StarWars.com is the Mandalorian and Grogu are embarking on new adventure to movie theaters. I almost want to think, is this separate? Is this something different than the movie that we're announcing from Star Wars Celebration? Is this another movie? Is this a fourth movie? I don't know. It's a little bit confusing as far as this goes. So I don't know what the case is here. But it's going to be directed by Jon Favreau, which is weird because, honestly, because the other movie that was announced at Star Wars Celebration, I am almost positive that they said that one was going to be directed by Dave Filoni, and that one was going to be like a Mandoverse movie. So this might be a fourth Star Wars movie. Maybe they're opting for this instead of another season of The Mandalorian. Possibly, maybe they don't have enough to tell another story and they just want to make a movie out of it, possibly, to kind of tie in some loose sequences with the other stories to get us to wherever this Mandalorian movie goes. I don't know. Maybe they're going to take a page out of the MCU and have more individual stories. It's a possibility. I think the Mandalorian and Grogu, it almost seems like that that's an individual story that they've been doing. This is kind of an interesting announcement, honestly. But it is going to be directed by Jon Favreau, produced by Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, and Dave Filoni. So Dave Filoni has involvement in it, but just in producing, which, again, going back to Star Wars Celebration, I'm almost positive that the Mando movie was said that Dave Filoni was going to direct it because it was basically going to be his first movie that he's directing. But maybe that's changed since he's kind of been taking over, the creative development of Star Wars, which was announced. So I don't know. Drew saying still can't get over Favreau's career track. I still see him as the guy in Swingers, right? I know. I totally he's an amazing person. Has done some amazing things. So, and what he's done for just, I mean, think about it. He launched Marvel. If it wasn't for Jon Favreau, Marvel wouldn't even be here. Everything like hedged off of Iron Man. I mean, he did such a great job with Iron Man that it just catapulted Marvel. So might be changed to that's what I'm thinking. That could be a possibility. But so this is going to go whatever this false title movie Mandalorian and Grogu film is going to go into production this year, 2024, at some point, along with the Daisy Ridley one, because that's kind of been unofficially announced that is going into production this year as well. Actually, it has been officially announced. It's been in articles on StarWars.com that will be in production this year as well. So 2 Star Wars movies in production this year now. So we're kind of getting caught up. We're getting caught up with some lack of Star Wars films, which is great. Favreau being quoted as saying he's loved telling stories set in the rich world that George Lucas created. The prospect of bringing the Mandalorian and his apprentice Grogu to the big screen is extremely exciting. So yeah, so I think this might be something new. I just from the way that this is written, it almost sounds like it's a fourth movie. Kathleen Kennedy saying that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni have ushered into Star Wars 2 new and beloved characters in this new story. New story is a perfect fit for the big screen. Again, new story, saying new story. Okay, so here we go. This is a 4th movie. This is a 4th movie because the last paragraph says the Mandalorian and Grogu will lead Lucasfilm's ongoing feature development slate, including films helmed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. I apologize if I butcher her name. She's amazing. Can't wait to see the Daisy Ridley movie. It's not top on my list, but she did an amazing job with the Marvel movie. I'm totally drawing a blank. James Mangold and Dave Filoni. So it references the other 3. So this is a 4th movie. Fourth movie. And it also confirms today, and this was kind of teased by Rosario Dawson the other day, after it mentions Dave Filoni as having a feature film in developmental state. That did not come out right. It says he is also currently developing Ahsoka season 2, which is in the works. And that was teased by Rosario Dawson the other day. So we are getting four movies now. 4 movies. We have the New Jedi Order movie, which is going to be helmed by Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. The Dawn of the Force, which is going to be James Mangold's movie. The Mandoverse movie, which is going to be Dave Filoni. And then now the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, which is going to be Jon Favreau's movie. And then we also have definitive proof that Ahsoka season 2 is in production, is in the work. This is the way. I love it. So that is amazing. So honestly, like literally, I just saw this like 5 minutes before Ms. Marvel. That is exactly what I'm trying to remember. Thank you, Drew. I love it when my people that they're watching can help me out through this, because again, you know me, I'm unscripted. I love this. This is just me. I talk about Star Wars. I don't script any of this. This is the joy of just learning some of these things with you. That's why I do this way. I love to just get excited about this with you guys. But honestly, like I read this like 5 minutes before I got on today. It was not here this morning when I got up. I was at Hollywood Studios all day. I really hadn't checked any of the feeds and saw this like right before I came on. So yeah, so that's awesome. You may have heard that here first. Really, really cool. Fourth Star Wars movie. We're getting caught up. With getting back into all of the man, I keep like hitting the wrong button. So Let me get that off of there. Go back to big screen here. So yeah, that is that's exciting. That's exciting to be able to hear all that. So hopefully it's not called Mandalorian Grogu. I don't know what they'd call it, but hopefully we have some. Maybe, it'd be really good, honestly. And this is what I've kind of like said. The way season 3 ended, it almost seems like Din Djarin's character could take on the Ranger of the New Republic character that they had in the thought process. So maybe they've decided to take whatever storyline was going to be for the Rangers of the New Republic series and put it into a movie format with Din Djarin being the main character. So because it almost seemed like he's going to be kind of working for the New Republic, like a New Republic hired gun for the Outer Rim. So maybe it could just be called the Ranger of the New Republic or something like that. I don't know, something similar, but have that storyline intact. I actually like that they were making movies also. There's nothing better than seeing Star Wars in the big screen. So I wholeheartedly agree with you with that. Let's go into my final thing for tonight, because I've been talking for 45 minutes now. I can't believe it. Still watching A New Hope, by the way, and we're still on the Death Star. I forget always how much. I started off with that I was on Tatooine, and I'm on the Death Star now. Can't believe I'm still on the Death Star. One of my favorite scenes coming up for Special Edition. Like certain things that they added in for the Special Edition that I really love is when Han, the scene where Han comes around the corner. Originally, you just basically had like a couple of troopers, and I love how they changed that to him kind of coming into a hangar bay with TIE fighters in the background and just like a legion of troopers. That is one of my favorite things about the Special Edition, is like little things like that are so subtle that just make it more impactful, that they just didn't have the budget for, which is amazing. Let's see, Ben saying series are fun, but sometimes I want to see some Star Wars on the big screen. I wholeheartedly agree with you. Kind of short for I am kind of short for a Stormtrooper, but it doesn't matter, because now with the First Order, anybody can be a Stormtrooper. There's different sizes, which is amazing. But yeah, according to Disney, I'm definitely too short to be a Stormtrooper, because you have to be a certain height to be able to be a Stormtrooper. So I will never be a Stormtrooper working at Disney. But I have been a Stormtrooper before, and I still have armor for clone. I got to really work on that at some point. I would love to have time to do that. But I've been a Stormtrooper before, and I have pictures. I have photo proof that I've been a Stormtrooper before, in armor at Star Wars Celebration Chicago. So thanks to my good friend Alex Stabenow, who is of the 501st, let me don his armor for the day with his Legion's approval. So thank you for this to the St. Louis Garrison, I believe it is, for allowing that to happen. So that was amazing. The scene you are going to see in 4 on the Death Star. Yeah. No, actually, I've done past that. I've done past that a lot. I'm way past that. I'm at. Oh, look, there's my comm link that C3PO has in his hand. Yeah, no, I'm done. But it's okay. I am too short to be a Stormtrooper. I'm definitely vertically challenged. I would agree with you there. Yeah, I don't mind making fun of my height at all. Yeah, no, I'm about to see the final confrontation between Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader right now. Takes on so much more meaning when you watch Obi-Wan Kenobi. I love this. I love the original movie is insane. It's so great. But yeah, so let's do my crucial character pick for this month. And this is actually gonna, since we're talking about Mandoverse, we're talking about new movies on the horizon. We have the new Jedi Order movie going into production. So the character that I picked actually from Ahsoka as you know, I do pick. I'll usually my first run I pick a character that isn't like a highlighted character. He's not like the main character of the series, but somebody that I think has a big part in the series, even though they're not in the entire series or movie. Or they just might be really cool, and I like them, and I think it would be cool to expand on their story or see them again. And this character definitely is a character that I would love to see down the road at some point, because I believe that this character is going to have a bigger story, and this bigger story could be even in the Daisy Ridley movie at some point. And so my crucial character pick, which we didn't see in the first episode of Ahsoka, I think he popped up. When did he pop up? He popped up in episode. Let's see if I can't real quickly. I think it was episode 3, maybe. Let's see, episode 3, the Time to Fly episode. And that would be Jason Syndulla, is my crucial character pick of Ahsoka. This was one of those characters that I think if you were a big fan of Rebels all the way to the end, and you saw like the epilogue, it would be the epilogue, right? Epilogue of Rebels with Hera and Jason in the bridge of the Ghost. You had a feeling that Jason was going to show up, but it was a little worrisome when you saw Hera in the first episode and you didn't see Jason, because it's like, are they retconning this? And then it was so great to be able to see Jason show up in episode 3. At least I thought, and I thought they brought him to life very well. Like I in the animated series, he had shorter hair, and and you can't really see his ears in the live action, but I like how they kind of hid that with the long hair, but the green hair is still at that. And so Jason Syndulla, obviously, hopefully Kanan Jarrus's son with Hera, and we learned that he is Force sensitive, which is a cool little side point that not only made him an integral part of the story, because if it weren't for him, there's a possibility that Ahsoka would not have survived. So definitely important to the story, because if it wasn't for him and his connection to Hera, Hera wouldn't have been able to, his connection to Ahsoka, he wouldn't have been able to make it, or she wouldn't have been able to possibly been saved. So really cool to be able to have that part of the story, and she kind of owes him her life, which is brought up a little bit later. So really cool to be able to see that part of the story. That was really one of my favorite moments of the story, is his connection to the Force, his connection to Hera, and showing a little bit of a glimpse of possibly a future for Jason Syndulla. Maybe that could be a really cool connection from the animated series to the Disney Plus series to live action as well. Kind of bringing all that together, if he's still around, being a part of, or at the time of the next New Jedi Order movie, he was a student of Rey, which would be really cool to be able to have that tie in. I think it would be really cool to see an adult version of Jason Syndulla. I think it would be really cool to be able to have him played and look a little bit more like Kanan, and take on a little bit more of his father's traits, to kind of have a connection to a live action version of Kanan Jarrus, but in his son, Jason Syndulla. So Here's hoping to that. That would be a really cool, I think, to have an adult version of Jason Syndulla. But yeah, that is my crucial character pick from Ahsoka is Jason Syndulla. So again, remember, if you see me in the parks between now and the end of the month, and you mention my crucial character pick of Jason Syndulla, you'll get a prize. A prize. And, it's going to be a Star Wars prize. But yeah, that is a gift giveaway in connection to my crucial character pick. Yeah, I think that's about it. But yeah, so we're finally getting off the Death Star. We are finally almost getting to I don't know why my subtitles went off. They were on and then they went off. I don't know why they just disappeared. Got Han and Leia's banter in the Millennium Falcon cockpit. I love it. I'm looking for the I'm looking at the cockpit and I'm trying to remember the Galaxy's Edge version of the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon. It does look a little bit different, the console. Honestly, now that I think about it, it looks a good bit different. But I guess it's changed. It's changed per movie, right? A little bit, like the cockpit of the Falcon. I would say it's changed a little bit. I am getting some new poker chips in for my cruise, my Disney Wish cruise, for the crew to hand out to. I just ordered another Roosevelt shirt today, but it's a Disney one. It's not even a Star Wars one because I saw a Disney one that I really wanted. I think it did change movie to movie. Okay, yeah. I mean, I think so too. Which I think I don't know which console the one in Galaxy's Edge is based off of. My guess is it's probably the version in The Force Awakens that it's based off of, because that was probably the movie that was. I mean, that was the movie that it was on at the same time. So, I don't know what that is. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. I just noticed that I can put comments on screen. I'm gonna have to start doing that so that people can see the comments. But yeah, R2 plugging into the database, showing those Death Star plans. This is just an amazing movie. So I'm probably not going to finish this tonight. Try to get this closed up for the next 2 minutes, and then yeah, we'll end this, and I guess I'll watch the rest of this next week. The last bit of A New Hope as I'm doing my live stream. So, but yeah. So yeah, I think somebody had mentioned my jacket earlier. Ben did. Yeah, this is my Crucial Crew jacket. That I've gotten stuff added to it. I've the most recent thing that I've added is the Gaia patch, and then I did put a Death Star probe droid patch on today, somewhere on the back here. It's on the back. I do have another patch that I think has come. I just haven't even opened the package yet, that I need to put on the back, and I have to sew one on as well, which I really need to start working on. I might do that tomorrow morning. That's going to go in the back, I think in the middle somewhere, either on the bottom or the middle top, or in the middle, or on the side shoulder pad somewhere back there. Yeah, so I still got a couple patches to put on and look around to see if I can find any more, but I don't think any more are going to get to me before Mos Eisley. So But Wedge being played by a different actor than from Return of the or Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Not Dennis Lawson in A New Hope. I forget the name of the actor that was in A New Hope, but it was a different actor for Wedge. Need to finish the baffles in my headband. Cool. Is that going to be for Moshe Eisley? Moshe Eisley. Yeah. So, all right. So we are getting almost to. I'm going to go ahead and pause and stop my A New Hope at 1 hour 41 minutes, and we're going to call it a night. We're going to call it a night. Running out of things to say. Thank you for joining in, Ben. Thank you, Drew, as well, for joining in. Thank you for watching this later. If you are watching this later, please subscribe to this podcast live, Space Oats, a Star Wars podcast. I do this every Tuesday night, mostly, sometimes Wednesdays, but mostly Tuesday nights at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time live. So join in for Star Wars conversations. Ben saying, great talk. Thank you very much. Definitely see you at Mosh as well. It's always good to have somebody talking with while I'm doing these things. Had some great news to talk about today. Had some great Star Wars history. Had a crucial character pick. Again, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, hit those notifications, hit that like button. I will see you around. Join my Instagram page. You will see Star Wars posts each and every day, and Star Wars history. And I will leave you with the normal thing. Until next time, watch some Star Wars, listen to some Star Wars, play some Star Wars, read some Star Wars, do something Star Wars each and every day. Very important. Until next time, may the stars light your way. Have a good night, everyone.